Hello creative people, welcome back to my channel. This is Everly Green, I am Spanish illustrator, and last week we sketched this beautiful illustration of a girl and her cat. Today we're moving on to the next exciting part, which is laying down those basic colors and that bring everything to life. It's like taking our illustration from blueprint to a vibrant canvas that is ready for the finishing touches. So grab your brushes and let's get down to it. The first thing I do is adjust the sketch layer to multiply mode so I can still see it clearly as I add color. This trick lets me see both the sketch and the colors at the same time, and I will open a new layer to decide which colors I'm going to use. This isn't something I do for every illustration. Sometimes I have a specific color palette in mind, but when I am unsure, I like to play around with some colors until I find the perfect match. This time around I wasn't entirely set on a color palette. I knew I wanted a light blue for the background, and for the characters I envisioned the cat with a sleek greyish black fur and the girl with beautiful flowing brown hair. So I'm going to use these three colors as the foundation and build the rest of the palette around them. Because I want to create a fresh, springy vibe for the overall illustration, I think pops of orange, pink and green will be the perfect complement. So let's see how these come together. Once I have the palette ready, I'll place it on a corner of my canvas as a reference, and that way I can still keep it in mind and ensure everything stays cohesive. Now, to add a little extra depth and texture to the illustration, I'm going to bring in a new layer, and in this layer I'll add up an image of some paper. This gives the artwork a nice subtle texture, almost like it's drawn on traditional paper. Once I have the paper image in place, I'll resize it so it fits the illustration nicely, and I'm going to change the blading mode of the paper layer to multiply and adjust its opacity to 50% to reduce the texture a bit so it creates a more subtle and integrated effect. I'm also reducing the opacity of the sketch layer so I can see my colors better. And now we're ready to start with the coloring process. I'm going to create a new layer and fill it with the blue we picked earlier. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed that I always begin by laying down a blue background, even if the final piece won't have a blue background at all. But there's a reason behind it. Using a blue background helps me see the other colors I add on top much more clearly, and it creates a contrast that allows me to make more precise color choices. Once my background is ready, I am going to choose my trusty color blocking brush to fill in the girl's face and arms. I'm actually going to use separate layers for different sections of her body. The face will go on one layer, the neck and the arms that's holding the kitten will go on a layer underneath the face, and the other arm will be on a layer on top of the face. Separating these elements by layer helps me make adjustments and refinements later on without accidentally affecting other areas. I'm going to use the green color temporarily on the arm that goes over the girl's mouth, and this way I am able to see where I am placing my strokes exactly. Once I am finishing coloring that arm, I will drop the previous original color, and this is a trick that I use quite often in my illustrations because it ensures clean lines and precise coloring, especially in areas that overlap other elements. So you'll be able to see that I'm going to repeat this throughout the whole illustration. Now it is time to clean up any overlapping areas, and for this I'm always using my irregular blocking brush because unlike a regular eraser that creates perfectly clean lines, the irregular brush gives the edges a soft irregular look, which makes the illustration feel much more natural. And once I finish with the girl's body, I will repeat the exact same process with the cat. Now let's start with the shirt. I'm going to use a contrasting color again to draw the edges, and once that's done, I'll erase any overlapping bits. Though this time I will use my sketching brush to erase any color that will overlap with the trousers. And when I am happy with how it looks, I will drop the color that I really want to use. I thought that white would look good for this illustration, but since I want the circle in the background to be white, I ended up going for a beautiful light green for the shirt instead. Once the shirt is ready, I will open a new layer and move on to the girl's hair. This is where my trusty irregular block brush comes back into play, and with the hair I'll be using this brush to both add and erase strokes as needed. The regular brush helps me create soft, wispy strands and clean up any harsh lines, giving the hair a natural and textured look. Once the basic elements of the illustrations are in place, I like to take a moment and turn off the sketch layer. I really like doing this because if the colors themselves are starting to come together and create a clear image without relying on the sketch for guidance, then it's a good sign. It means that the illustration is on the right track. I usually do this several times at different stages of the coloring process to see if the colors are effectively working. Now I'm going to quickly open a new layer to fill in the circle we placed earlier, and I am also going to give her a nice belt. Once the outfit is ready, I am going to open a new layer and draw both the girl and the cat's face. For this, I am using a beautiful dark brown for her eyes and orange for her features, and I am also using a dark grey for the cats. And there we have it. This illustration is ready for some shading and detailing. If you want to see how I bring it to life, then hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. You can also find all my illustrations, including this one, over on Instagram at @EverlyGreenArt. Thanks for joining me today. Have a lovely day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!